Hi, this is Brother Teacher. I just finished talking to a friend of mine who's also a customer in my business. Uh, in brief, we always have, I guess you could say, uh, conversations about life. And I asked him about his view on life in general. And he said when he passes his life, he wants to believe that he has left a legacy for his children and grandchildren, which was wonderful. And I went on to make the statement um, about our mothers, and he mentioned his mother prior to that, and he stated that when his mother was alive, she treated all 8 or 10 children of hers the same, none any different than the other, even though some of the children thought that they were her favorite, and so forth. And he stated that she would go hungry, making sure that her children ate first or got whatever they needed. And this is what motherhood is about. It is even what fatherhood and parenthood is about, making sacrifices for your children, the next generation. And I went on to add to some of the things that he said, and he told me that I had made his day, and he just came from church. I told him, I said, I learned a long time ago that our parents, even if you don't have your biological father and your mother and your grandmother or aunt or even a foster parent raises you, providing that they raise you properly, they are our links to our past. They know our history. They are the history of us because we came from them. Your father and your mother were the instruments that brought you into the world. And as you progress through life, you learn things from them. You have good and bad experiences with them. You learn a lot about them and your parents' history with their parents, oftentimes. They teach you values. They teach you how to protect yourself from the world in which we live and how to navigate through the world that we live in as well. We must cherish our parents while they are here. We must give our parents, our mothers and our fathers, and those that are our elders, give them their flowers while they are yet here. Because when they are gone, it's too late. You can't go back and say thank you. You can't recall the time and say I'm sorry or I apologize for talking to you a little bit off-sided one day, or if I yelled at you, or if I didn't come home, you told me to come home when I was a teenager. You can't do that any longer because it's too late. Sometimes our egos can be so swollen that we're so beside ourselves we don't critically think about how life actually is. You see, it's not promised to any of us. No one told you that you were going to live to be 30, 40, 50 years old. No one promised you that you'll be here tomorrow because so many people are dying every few seconds somewhere in the world. All over the world, someone is dying just as quickly as someone is being born. We're leaving here. We come and we go. Doesn't it stand to reason and doesn't it make sense that while you are here, that you make the very best of being here? And I'm not talking about partying. I'm not talking about seeing how many drinks you can put down or how many men uh, ladies can get or how many women a guy can chase down and get under their skirt. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about how much money you can amass as a person or how many cars you have, or what type of car and clothing you wear, what type of home you live in. I'm talking about that stuff. That stuff is secondary. It's second nature in some senses. It is temporary. None of that lasts forever. Because when you and I die, any so-called worldly possessions goes to someone else or just waste away. What I'm talking about is the true essence of a man or woman. What is your real purpose here? What real value do you bring as a man or woman? You. What type of model, or what type of role model, I should say, or example are you setting before your children's eyes? Or before your husband's eyes, or your wife's eyes, your girlfriend, boyfriend, what have you? What example are you? What type of life are you really living? That once you close your eyes for the last time, if you could be at some far distance and look down on yourself and the generations that follow you, would you be proud of you? So, in essence, before I leave, I just want to say this. Love your family. Love your mother and your father, even when you have differences, even when you don't agree on certain things. Even if you haven't turned out to be the best child or the example of a child that you think you should have been, or didn't measure up, as some may say. Even if your mother and your father were not there for you all of the time, or even at all, they still are responsible for you being here. You can't blame everyone outside of you for the conditions that you find yourself in today, because still life is based on decisions. If they made a decision not to be there for whatever their reasons were, or to even be there, whatever their decisions were, remember this: you have to make decisions too. If they're dead and gone and out of your life, you still have to make a decision. Your decisions can be good or bad. So since you have the ability to make a decision, don't blame somebody else for what their decisions were, because your decisions can trump theirs. It can be much better decisions than they had made for you. You be the example. So, again, give your mother and your father their flowers while they're yet living, because tomorrow you can't give any flowers anymore, but at their gravesite. This is Brother Teacher. You know I love you. So long.